Salvete omnes, this is Emilia, also known as TheMartianGeek, and welcome to the first project of 2017. This is Mario and Luigi Kola Kingdom Quest, a Super Mario World ROM hack by Gamma V. Yes, the same author as the last hack I did. Hey, it's not my fault she's the only one around who consistently makes hacks that I like. I've noticed that an overwhelming majority of people who make things like ROM hacks and fan games seem to really suck at either level design or difficulty curves, or often both. And as a result, the overwhelming majority of said hacks and fan games tend to be obnoxious and frustrating a lot of the time. So, for anyone else who wants me to play through their hack, maybe consider making it actually fun. That said, there are some exceptions to that, notably newer Super Mario Bros. Wii. That game was pretty good. But I guess one criticism that's been leveled against Gamma V's hacks is they're considered a bit samey, I suppose, and I can see that maybe. I mean, they do tend to follow some pretty similar formulas and progressions and whatnot. Still, though, I'd rather play 10 hacks that are maybe a little bit homogeneous and formulaic, but still fun, than one that's really interesting and creative, but utterly frustrating. And I'll admit that these still seem to be more creative than a lot of Nintendo's recent efforts. Gamma V does have a lot of the standard world themes, because hey, who doesn't, but she usually includes a couple beyond just grassland, desert, forest, jungle, ice world, fire world, boss, too. So it keeps things interesting, I'd say. And I feel like we've talked about it enough, I suppose. I kinda did the same thing last time, actually. Point is, let's go ahead and start. Mario A, B, or C, and okay. I was thinking, some of the hacks that she's done, I believe, had an option to play as Mario or Luigi, and I was thinking this was one of them, but I guess not. Obviously, we're doing a one-player game. While Mario and his friends were vacationing in the Kola Kingdom, Bowser seems to have taken over the Mushroom Kingdom. Well, at least it didn't explicitly reference kidnapping Princess Peach, but we know he's done that, too. Or pretty sure. Come to think of it, I have yet to see someone do a hack that wasn't explicitly styled like Super Mario Bros. 3, that had the little messages after you finish a world from Princess Peach about advice for the next one, or the future. Anyway, here we are on World 1. Can we scroll the overworld map from here? It doesn't look like it. So this is Tiki Island, and let's get into Tiki Island 1. Welcome to Paradise. I noticed she used my, level name intro patch. Hello, my name is Gadley. I'll scout ahead and gather information to help you along your way. So these are our message box replacements. And she also used the Donkey Kong Country return style status bar, which I am okay with. I've learned from experience that layer 3 status bars are more trouble than they're worth. But anyway, first world actually is not a grassland for once. It is a beach world. As you can see. We have islands, palm trees, the usual, and Goombas and Koopas. Can you go down any of these pipes? Oh, that one. Nice colorful bonus room here. I think I would like to see a little bit more going on in the background. It's pretty much 3 colors. But okay, how far ahead did we come out? Multi-coin block. I'm actually seriously starting to wonder if it would be a good idea to label multi-coin blocks with a different color or symbol or something, because it seems like 9 times out of 10 whenever I find one, either in a hack or an official Mario game also, midway point, nice little flag there, I end up hitting it once, then walking away, and then realizing, wait, it's still on, it must be a multi-coin block, and then I miss out on getting a couple of the coins. Not that that ever really happens in any game where the extra coins would matter. I don't think there have been any games like that I've played recently, at least, that were really difficult enough to need that many extra lives. Generally hang on to the ones you have. Also, Red Koopa. And I guess we can spin jump through the top of these Super Mario Bros. 3 style brick blocks as well as bonking them from the bottom. Doesn't look like we get bonus stars in this game. Okay, I must say I actually have played through this before, but I didn't really remember that much about it. I couldn't decide between playing this or I believe there are one or two other Gamma V hacks that I could have done, but I settled on Kola Kingdom Quest. Point is, let's move on to Tiki Island 2, Rex's Resort. Or 1-2. Honestly, I actually didn't really care for the way Super Mario World handled its level names and numbering. I just prefer the old world number, level number format. I feel like the way Super Mario World did it was almost like an effort to kind of go halfway between having an actual level name and having a number, and I don't think it really did either of those well. Oh look, another multi-coin block. Oh look, I'm only going to get about 4 coins because I didn't think to hit it multiple times. And yeah, I have fire power, but I tend not to actually use fire flowers much. Okay, here's a pipe we can enter. I don't know, they feel like, I know people will say, actually, come to think of it, the bonus room music isn't changing to when I hit the P-switch. Yes, that's exactly what people will say about fire flowers. Now, I know people will say things like the cape are overpowered, but honestly, I find even just a plain fire flower tends to be rather powerful for what it does. I mean, of course, it depends on the context. It's not going to help you that much in a castle when everything's pretty much immune to fire. But as a result of that, I like to prefer... well, of course, if I get hit and don't have a fire flower anymore, that's one thing, but I tend to like to prefer to save my power-ups, or the usage of them, for hello, fish, for emergencies, or water levels. Like, water levels are pretty much the one exception I have to hit things with fire flowers, or fireballs, or whatever, because you don't otherwise have any way of attacking. I always remember back in the very first Super Mario Brothers how I'd always try to save my fire flowers in the water levels because, like I said, they're the only way to attack enemies, and come to think of it, oh well, I missed that by a lot, but you don't seem to actually get anything for hitting the higher points on the flagpole in this game, so it really doesn't matter. And now that I think about it, I don't even think any of the water levels in Super Mario Brothers had power-ups. Point is, we are moving on to 1-3. The tide is high. And your text is off-center. Custom layer 3 water? You don't see that every day, but why isn't it animating? That's kind of weird. But anyway, we have some nice Super Mario RPG music in here. Midas River. I'm actually the one who ported this, and it looks like we have a bonus room early on this time. Yeah, like I said, I could have sworn you could play as Mario or Luigi in this game, but I must be thinking of a different hack. Okay, that didn't put us too far ahead. See, I actually prefer, when I do bonus rooms, I prefer to make the exit, like, right next to the entrance, or even literally the same pipe. Because I feel like otherwise you just miss stuff. Hello, multi-coin block, and me getting hit again. I'm telling you, the coin blocks are out to get me. Maybe it's a variant of the whole one-up curse thing or something. One of them isn't much, but 100 of them together. I wonder if this is a secret exit pipe. Nice sky bonus room here in any case. Yep, secret exit. I've noticed in a lot of these hacks I end up getting the secret exit before the normal one. That leads us to the Yellow Switch Palace, and I think I'm going to go ahead and do that right now, because if I know my Super Mario World, the earliest you can get Switch Palace, or the earlier you can unlock and complete Switch Palaces, the better. Interestingly, in this game, you don't actually start off in the Switch Palace. She expended them to full levels. I don't think these are as long as regular ones are. Multi-coin block! But they're levels nevertheless. Hello, Venus. Ah, I was thinking that wouldn't hit me. That's actually kind of a funny-looking Venus fire trap. I always thought Super Mario Bros. 3 generally did a good job with its graphics. Probably better than Super Mario World. Well, at least the All-Stars version did. I guess the NES version was pretty much the same graphics, just with fewer colors and not as much shading. Coins over top of a ledge. Either sprites or... well, hello, invisible. What up? Fish. More fish. One fish, two fish, more fish, fried fish. No sign of an entrance to the actual Switch Palace, though. Yet. Just some more Goombas and all that. I wonder what this music is from, actually. I'm sure I've heard it before. Probably not from the original game. Actually, I can probably fairly safely assume that none of these pipes are enterable. There we go, there's our door. And here's our Switch Palace. Switch is unclear. Pressing this switch has filled in all the yellow block outlines in Kola Kingdom. This'll make things easier. You know, another thing I never thought about until today. The gems in Crash Bandicoot games. I wonder if those were at all inspired by the Switch Palaces, since they have a similar function. And those switch blocks looked a little bit more brown than yellow to me, but close enough. I also don't think I've ever seen anyone put more than 4 Switch Palaces into a hack, or at least not that one that was both finished and that I played. Certainly. I don't think it would even be that hard with the tools we have these days. But since we didn't get all the Yoshi coins, it looks like they'd reset. Already up to 11 lives and we're only at 1-3. Like I said, I'm really not that worried about missing a few coins here and there. Second verse, same as the first. Just getting the other exit this time and forgetting about the multi-coin blocks again. A little bit of lag there, which is honestly kind of hard to avoid in tide levels. Okay, we have 2 paths, and it looks like we wanted to take the upper one here. That was a weird glitch. I get the feeling that a lot of interaction with water and stuff in this game is probably a little bit bugged. Well, then again, a lot of everything in this game is a little bit bugged, but... Anyway, 1-3 cleared. And I also just noticed I don't think that one had a midway point. Well, I guess Yoshi's Island 4 didn't either. Moving on to 1-4, or Tiki Island 4. Tropical Trouble. Come to think of it, I don't think this world has any underwater levels despite being an ocean world. But we are in the tropics and that fire flower will not benefit me. We can also see the effects of our yellow Switch Palace there. And what happens when you are too far off screen and you need to hit a block that bounces. I wonder if I can yeah. I was gonna say I could try to hit one of those yellow switch blocks, but it wouldn't be worth it considering I have 2 better power-ups anyway, and it'll just mess with my inventory. Thanks, I've just about had it with being trapped in those eggs. Yoshi! Hello, Yoshi. Goodbye, Yoshi. Easy come, easy go. God darn it, that was stupid. Or careless or something. I'll bet you need him for something later in this level, too. Probably just a Yoshi coin. It doesn't have a secret exit. guess that's another thing I don't see that often, is people using Yoshi coins for something that's actually useful. Like, I'll see people put Yoshi coins in places that you might have to spend 2 or 3 lives to get, and that's just stupid, considering that, at best, 1 Yoshi coin is 1/5 of an extra life. So, I don't really buy the whole thing about making Yoshi coins hard to find. Whoa. I mean, unless, of course, you're actually using your Yoshi coins to unlock secret levels or something like that. Yeah, I figured that had to be something. Also, HDMI gradient in the background, nice. But it doesn't seem to be the kind that scrolls with the screen. It'll always have the same colors in the same place, regardless of how far up or down you are. There are ways of getting around that. That was actually a little bit of a difficult jump there for World 1. I almost didn't make that. And here's why we did the Yellow Switch Palace, because we couldn't have gotten that Yoshi coin without it. Well, actually, we probably could have if we were... Go me! First death, and it was literally right next to the end. Sigh. Well, not like this one was that time-consuming anyway. And again, those block bounce sprites. And come to think of it, I want this Koopa. Well, actually, I don't know if going up here is going to do anything because we already had to restart. Yeah, that was fairly pointless. I wonder what the quickest way to get the most coins possible out of those blocks is. I want to say either holding something underwater, using a Lakitu cloud under one, or having a pea balloon under one. Yeah, might as well get those 2 coins. I was going to say, without the Switch Palace, I'd imagine that if you were careful enough with the timing, jumping off a Koopa or something, you could probably do it, but I'm not sure, and I wouldn't try it myself anyway. Come to think of it, the bottom part of that background kind of just looks like an extension of the gradient. That was a pretty alright level. And time for 1-5. Sunset Stroll. Oh hey. Nice gradient once again. Power up if we need it. We don't. I know I've heard this music too. Speaking of power-ups... treasure chest. Can we open the... Oh, hey, Yoshi. I am so sorry for what I accidentally did to you in that last level. And come to think of it, Yoshi being in 2 levels at once? That's unprecedented. Or not at once, what am I saying? In a row. 2 levels in a row. And the background doesn't scroll in this one, okay. I guess it makes sense with the sun, kind of, but... Are these coins supposed to be shaped like an M? I see. Well, there's one way to get a lot of coins out of one. Didn't stop and check exactly how many it was, but... or count. Whoa! That was careless. If I'm dying on these easy levels, that doesn't bode well for the rest of the game. I mean, this game's easier than Donkey Kong Country Returns. I don't think I died that much in that game this early on. Granted, I'm used to playing these games with the keyboard, and I had to use a controller this time, but... Let's maybe not fall down the bottomless pits this time, okay? Oh, that Chuck's out for blood, it looks like. We're ignoring him. Okay, 56. So we got 29 coins out of it, not bad. Considering most of the time you can only get about 10 or 11. Actually, I wonder if using the controller actually throws off the physics or my muscle memory or something a little bit. The safe route here looks like going down. Hey, Mr. Venus Fire Trap, or Ms. Yeah, fire. Come to think of it... Ah, never mind. Good job. Piranha plants, not coming out of the pipes, range does not extend that far. But hey, at least Yoshi had something to eat while he was panicking and running off into oblivion. Delicious, delicious piranha plants. Always gotta eat your vegetables. Chuck want plumber. Chuck cannot have plumber. Hey, at least I have enough power-ups left to get in here. Chuck want out. Chuck can't have that either. Sorry, Chuck. Sometimes having homing AI is not a good thing. And moving on to the castle. Come to think of it, we didn't really get much of an athletic level in that world. I think the closest was 1-4. Anyway, Island Castle. Ludwig von Koopa's castle. Admit I've never seen Ludwig as the first boss in a game before. He's usually the last. Also, nice graphics here. I don't think I've seen him before. And, another one of my pieces of music. Castle theme from the original New Super Mario Brothers. And I will say that a castle is an interesting place to introduce blue and yellow Koopas. So I guess this is one castle where having a fire flower actually would help. Actually need to update this port to be a little closer to the original. Hello, Thwomp. You are entrapped by the power of Switch Palace. No matter how you pound, the yellow switch blocks will not yield. It still seems like an oversight that Thwomp should be able to be killed by shells. I don't know why I got that fire flower, because it doesn't benefit me, but moving on. Now we have some platforms to deal with. Gotta say, for a castle, this seems to use a lot of stuff that you don't often see in castles, which is not a bad thing. Get out of the way of the thing here. You know, shooting to the music works a lot better when you have up to 3 projectiles instead of just 2. Multi-coin block! Almost got thwomped there. I found that even though it tends to be quicker to jump over thwomps, it's also more dangerous. Yeah, I don't often see castles with that many platforms like that. Which is surprising. You'd think I'd have designed one by now, considering how much I tend to like those moving platform sprites. Point is, it is boss time. I feel like these boss doors don't really look ominous enough, if you know what I mean. But oh well. Let's fight Ludwig. Hello, Ludwig. that facial expression. It's like... And he does not react at all to getting jumped on. And here we see a limitation of that boss sprite, which is that it doesn't turn around when it shoots fireballs. Ludwig, I didn't know you could shoot fire out of the back of your head, too. And some colors that don't quite fade right, but we have beaten World 1. I knew we could do it! And that'll be World 2. But I think we've done enough for one episode, wouldn't you say? So I will see you in World 2, Mushroom Plains, next time.